Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. As I'm sure you noticed by my little thumbnail, I am back with Elisabeth. We are doing another Shopping Our Stash collab. We were doing a series on our channel along with our friend Mercedes Wilson, and I will have both of their channels linked down below, where we were shopping our stash for a certain color in our large-ish makeup inventory to remind ourselves that we have enough and we don't need anything more. And after doing that project for about a year and a half, I kind of felt like the series had run its course. I know some people really enjoyed it, but it wasn't getting a lot of views and it was a ton of work to go through all of my eyeshadow on a monthly basis for this project, and it just had lost some of the fun. But when Pantone announced its colors of the year for 2021, I felt all inspired again, and so I reached out to Elisabeth and asked her if she had any interest in doing a collab, and she said yes. So we are bringing back just this once the Shopping Our Stash for the Pantone colors of the year for 2021. I'm sure by now you've heard that Pantone chose two colors for 2021 for their colors of the year. The first color is called Ultimate Gray, and the second color is called Illuminating, which is a very pretty sunshiny yellow. Here's some information about what Pantone was thinking when they chose these two colors. In regards to the mood they were trying to capture, they said two independent colors that highlight how different elements come together to support one another. These two colors representing practical and rock solid, but at the same time warming and optimistic. Gray is the strength, yellow is the positivity. They said that these two colors encapsulates deeper feelings of thoughtfulness with the promise of something sunny and friendly. I'm not sure how inspiring these two shades are in particular when it comes to my makeup, but what I can tell you is that I don't need them. I got them. I got plenty of gray. I got lots and lots of gray. In fact, I just decided to stop around 25. I found 25 grays and I thought, that's enough, you're good. Now I do feel like when I look at these shades of Ultimate Gray, it's a very neutral gray, leaning on the cooler toned, almost like bluish gray. So gray, like any other color, can have warm grays, cool grays, neutral grays, and I do feel like this is a neutral leaning cooler type of gray from what I could tell in the pictures. So I will try to keep that in mind while I'm swatching. We did cover the color yellow in our Shopping Our Stash collab previously, so I will leave a playlist to the Shopping Our Stash collabs down below. If you've missed any of them, you could check it out and you could see what yellows we have, because we've already done yellow, so I'm not going to go into the yellow in this particular video. In this video, we're focusing more on the Ultimate Gray shade. That is a shade I never thought I'd be shopping my stash for, but I do remember when I first started watching Candy Johnson a million years ago, she used gray all the time. She made gray eyeshadow so cool, and I never forget that. So many of her early videos were using an old Ben Nye eyeshadow palette, and she used that gray all the time. And then when she started using more MAC shadows, her favorite MAC shadows had a lot of gray in them as well. So I always think about Candy Johnson when I think of gray eyeshadow, because she really made gray a very cool and wearable eyeshadow in a lot of her early videos. I wish we could digitally remaster her early videos, because the quality is not there anymore, but I still like to go back and look at them. Another fun fact that I want to share is that gray and yellow have been a favorite combo of mine for years. In fact, my dream for a long, long time, and I don't know if it's still my dream, but for the longest time, my dream was to redo my office back there with gray and yellow, like mostly gray and white with yellow accents. And I never was able to achieve that goal. I never made it happen. But I have a huge folder in my photo album saved of inspiration using these very same colors, and I'll try to find them and add them in so you can see them, because I was definitely keen on these two colors as a combination for a long time. A long time. I still love yellow and gray. In fact, I think my planner last year was yellow, gray, and black. So I definitely love this color combination. I don't know if I love it for makeup, but I love this color combination. and I do find it very inspiring. And I love a light gray paired with yellow. I think it's very pretty. Okay, so before I get started, Elisabeth's channel is linked down below. I do hope you check her out and see what she shopped her stash for. She did touch bases with me this morning, and she said that a lot of the grays she thought she was swatching were all liars. They ended up being much darker than she thought they would be. So she was a little surprised by how few actual grays she has. So I'm curious to see if I'll have that same impression as I'm swatching my grays. You know, I do think a lot of the grays I have will pull very blue or very purple. I do like purpley grays very much, and I have a lot of those. So we'll see what the swatches actually look like when I swatch them. I did just exfoliate my hands, but they're still so dry. My hands have been so dry this winter. I don't know what is going on, but I almost don't want to swatch them because they're just crusty little dried up hands. But with that being said, let's get into the swatches. Let's talk about the shades that I have on my eyes first. Since this is already in my bathroom and I'm trying to hit pan on any shade in this palette, I decided to use Mercury all over my lid. That's this guy right here. This is definitely a warmer, more browny, khaki kind of a gray shade, which isn't quite what I think of when I see that ultimate gray shade, but it was already in my bathroom and I wanted to use it, and I actually really like the way that this Mercury gray looks just as an all over the eyelid look. On the inner half of my eyelid, I put this down first. I first went in with Sphere from the Prism palette, which is this kind of bright yellowy green one. And on its own, it wasn't really giving me the look that I was hoping for. So then I dug out this old Lorac 3D liquid luster drops. This is in the shade 24K. And I had to revive it because it was all dried up. And then I dotted that on the inner half of my eyelid. And that's how I got the look that I'm wearing today. I think once I get closer, you can kind of see the Sphere shade showing up a little bit more. But yeah, it's just Mercury, Sphere, and those luster drops from Lorac. I do have the peach from my Pan That palette in my transition area because I'm committed to using at least one shade from that palette every day for the month, so I put that down first. But other than that, I just have Mercury, Sphere, and these luster drops on my eyes. And I do like this combination a lot. I think it's really nice. I don't know if it's like my go-to look, but I like it. Yeah. Although I'm not really aiming for this Mercury shade to hit pan on, I'm aiming more for Electric or New Wave. I'm glad I found a way to make that shade work, because when I look at that shade on its own, I'm kind of like, oh no, but I actually really like this look, and I could totally see myself using that Mercury shade a lot more now that I've done this look. So I'm happy that that came out of this. So let me swatch Mercury first. So there it is right there. As you can tell, it's a very warm kind of khaki gray. It's not the cool toned ultimate gray that is shown in the pictures for this shade, but I think the fact that it's kind of a khaki brown makes it much more wearable. Let's see if we could find some ultimate grays though. Okay, here's A6 pan palette from NYX. It's called Unraveled. I don't think I've used it even once. It came in a holiday set, and I'm going to swatch this shade right here. I also was kind of leaning more towards the matte grays than the shimmery grays. I do feel like when grays get too shimmery, they just kind of become silver. And I feel like Elisabeth and I have done silver too, so there's that NYX shadow. I don't mind a gray with a little bit of shine to it, but I was trying to separate silver from gray. So there is that NYX shadow. That looks really pretty actually. It's kind of a taupey silver. I love taupey silvers. Okay, next I have my Ulta Beauty Metals palette. There are two grays in here that are both kind of silvery grays, but here they are down here. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this one right here. It's kind of silver. I don't know. Maybe I'm breaking my own rules already and we're only 3 swatches in. That's almost like a topper shade. Let me grab the other silver. There we go. That's better. There is a swatch of that gray from the Ulta Beauty Metals palette. It looks almost like a greeny gray. So many different shades of gray. Okay, next I have a very old duo from Ulta. This is a baked eyeshadow duo in the shade Taken. And obviously I'm going to be swatching this side right here. Talk about an underutilized eyeshadow in my stash. If this Pantone Color of the Year ends up inspiring me to reach for these grays more, that would be great because I have a lot of them and I don't reach for them. Look at that, that's very pigmented and beautiful. Very nice. Okay, I have a bunch of palettes from Lorac. Lorac does like to throw a gray in their palettes every now and then. First, I have the Lorac Pro 2, and there's Cool Gray and Charcoal. Cool Gray, Charcoal. I think I'm gonna go with Charcoal. Cool Gray is a little bit too purpley. Oh, look at that. I just love the Lorac formula. I know it's not for everybody, but I really like it. There it is right there. In the Mega Pro 1, I have the shade Stone. Yeah, let's go with Stone. That's this one right there. It'll be interesting to compare all these different grays from different Lorac palettes side by side. This is from the Lorac Pro 2. This is from the Mega Pro 1. They're different. They're not the same. Okay, then we have the Mega Pro 2, and I will swatch Ash, which is this one right here. That's a little bit darker. Oh, that's a very pretty shade. There it is right there. And then in the Mega Pro 3, I'm going to swatch Deep Fog, this one over here. It does have a little bit of shimmer to it, but I wouldn't call it like a silver by any means. It's definitely gray. Oh, these are so nice. There it is right there. I just love Lorac eyeshadows. I like them so much. Okay, next I have a Morphe palette. This is the 35E palette. And I'm going to swatch this one down here. Again, it does have some shine to it, but I certainly would not call this a silver. It's definitely a gray. And I don't think I've ever used it even once, so. Today seems like a good day to swatch it and see what it does. Oh my gosh, it's very taupey. I am shocked. Look at how taupey that is. It's almost like a duochrome. I did not see that coming at all. Oh, I really like that shade. It looks so gray in the pan. Look at how gray it looks right there. But then, ouch, I just pinched myself on my hand. Look at it. Oh my gosh, it's like a duochrome in there. Oh, that's might be a good shade to throw in pan in every palette. What do you think? Okay, I have 3 palettes from Too Faced. First, I have the Boudoir Eyes. And I was gonna swatch this matte gray right here called Garter Belt. There it is up there. Next, I have my Candy Johnson and Too Faced collab palette. Like I said, Candy Johnson and gray definitely go together, and I'm gonna swatch Taupe Berry. Whoops, this shade right down here. Those two are pretty close. And then finally, I have the Romantic Eyes palette, and I was gonna swatch I Do, which is this lighter gray shade up at the top up here. Oh, That one barely shows up. It's very, that would make a nice like transition shade. It's subtle. There we go. There it is right there. This is starting to look like that Jeffree Star palette. What is it, cremated? I don't need that palette, do I? Okay, I pulled 2 palettes from the Balm. Let's do Shady Lady first. This is Shady Lady Special Edition. And I am going to swatch this one here called Insane Jane. And it looks like it's never been touched even once. In general, this palette has been severely underutilized in my stash, and I wish that wasn't the case, but I could tell that I've never even touched this shadow even once. So here we go. Another surprise. It's very taupey. Look at that. Oh, I like that. I like these taupey silvers. Me likey. And then this is the Balm Voyage palette. I think they have a Balm Voyage too, but this is the first one. And I'm gonna swatch B3, which is that one right there. Right there. Okay, the second I realized we were talking about matte gray eyeshadows, the first palette that came to mind was this one right here. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye palette, and they have a very nice selection of gray shades right here. Lover or hater, you can find some good grays right there. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this top gray up here. And I have used that shade a couple of times. There it is right there. There are definitely some similar shades in these swatches. Okay, I pulled 2 palettes from Urban Decay. First I have the Gwen Stefani Collab palette, and I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Sirius is definitely a gray. Anaheim is kind of a gray too, but it's more of a taupey gray. I'm gonna swatch Anaheim. I actually bought this palette not because I am a Gwen Stefani super fan, although I do like her very much. I bought it because of Candy Johnson. Yeah, this one definitely has a lot more brown in it than every other gray I've swatched so far. That's a brownie gray. And then in the Naked Ultimates palette, I'm gonna swatch Magnet, which is this one right here. It looks like a very true gray shade, dark but true gray. There it is right there. My eye just keeps going to this Lorac shade right here. I just love it. You're hungry. You can get a banana. You can get a banana. We're gonna leave in about a half an hour to go to Grandma and Grandpa's house. Okay, next I have a Mally palette. I don't have a lot of palettes from the Mally brand, but I have this one, and I'm gonna swatch this gray down here, and I think it's time to switch to my other hand. Oh boy. So we're gonna move to the other side. Oh, that is nice. There is the Mally shade right there. This is my Bare Minerals Nudes palette. I like this palette a lot. I don't reach for it, but it's all very cool tone shades. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this one right here called Priceless. There it is right there. All right, we are definitely winding down. Next, I pulled out my Maybelline The Blushed Nudes palette, and I was gonna swatch, I'll swatch this one. No, I'll swatch this one, the darker one. I think the lighter one's gonna be another taupey gray. There it is right there. In my MAC times 15 Cool Neutral palette. All right, there's another 2 grays that I'm torn between. I have this one called Cumulus and this one called French Gray. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch, I'll swatch both. How about I just swatch both? How's that sound? Okay, here is French Gray. It's very light, and here, yeah, here is Cumulus. Another beautiful silver. Okay, and the last palette I pulled out is my e.l.f. 100 pan palette. You know this wouldn't be a Shopping Our Stash collab without this palette getting pulled out. I have an entire row of blacks, whites, and grays. I'm gonna randomly swatch a couple because there's like 3 that all look the same. Ooh, another taupey gray got snuck in the bunch. Okay, here they are right here. The center one is actually the closest to the ultimate gray shade, and it's the most pigmented out of the 3. That's this one right here. So that's ultimate gray right there. All right, what do you guys think? Am I good on gray? I am definitely 110% good on gray. This is not a color that's tempting me to go out and buy eyeshadow palettes. At least it hasn't been so far. You never know what's gonna come out that inspires me, but you guys know the blinders have been up really tight around my eyes. I don't know what's going on in the beauty community as far as what's being released and what new awesome things are out there. So that has really helped me a lot to curb my desire to shop. But yeah, I don't need gray, and I don't need yellow either. All right, that is gonna be it for this Shopping Our Stash collab. Although I am relieved to not be doing this every month anymore, it was really nice to pull these shadows out and do this one more time. Who knows what the Pantone color of the year will be for 2022, or where Elisabeth and I will be on this journey at that point, but maybe we'll do it again for next year's Pantone color of the year, because this will be our 3rd year in a row covering the Pantone color of the year. 2 years ago we did Blooming Coral. Last year we did the blue shade. What was it called? I can't remember, but this year we're doing the gray and the yellow. So this is our 3rd year covering the Pantone color of the year, and it's kind of become a tradition for us. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out Elisabeth's channel before you go and see what swatches she came up with out of her stash. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.